Let's go to the United States now. The 2024 presidential hopefuls descended on the state of South Carolina over the weekend. Joe Biden made one of his first election campaign appearances for the year. Nikki Haley held a rally following her loss in New Hampshire. Joining me live is former White House Chief of Staff and now Bondi Partners consultant Mick Mulvaney. Good to see you. A rare appearance from Joe Biden. How did he go?
He did just fine. Keep in mind, this is the Democrats' first primary. Yes, there is a Democrat primary. I know everyone around the world assumes that Joe Biden is going to be the Democrat nominee, and it's, I think, 90% likely that he is, but there is technically a Democrat primary. There's a member of Congress from Minnesota, Dean Phillips, who no one has ever heard of, including me, and I'm pretty sure I may have served with him in Congress, running against Joe Biden. So there will be an actual primary for the Democrats. And Joe Biden's taking advantage of the opportunity to sort of practice. But all the action, as you know, Laura, is over on the other side of the aisle between Joe Biden and Nikki Haley. Excuse me, Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
Yes, certainly. So Nikki Haley, she's hanging in there. I thought she might have quit after the last one, but she's not. Why is that?
It's a really good question. There's a couple different possible explanations, and her team has been very, very quiet about it. Of course, she's saying that she's in it for the long run, but every politician says that. I remember talking to Vivek Ramaswamy right before the Iowa caucuses, about 7 o'clock local time, and he said he was going to stay all the way into the convention, and 3 hours later, he was out of the race. So this is talk from politicians all the time. Nikki, I think, is staying in for a couple different reasons. Number one, to see if she can close the gap. She's down by about 35%, but this is her home state, so maybe she thinks she could stay in for a while. Yeah. And I think there's also this question about whether or not people will continue to give her money. That's a big deal for her right now. So far, it's happening, but it might not last forever.
No, certainly not. Also, there was a development in Donald Trump's, outside of politics when it comes to his multiple court cases, this massive defamation payout that he's been ordered to pay to E. Carroll. It's around 100 million Australian dollars. Is he going to pay that?
He'll probably have to pay part of it. He will get a chance to appeal it because it's so large, but he's going to have to write a large check. Keep in mind, this is the second half of this lawsuit by this same woman. He was accused by E. Jean Carroll several months ago of sexual assault. He was found civilly, but not criminally liable for doing that. And then he complained about it afterwards, and she sued him for defamation. And that's where this $83.5 million US decision comes from. Trump complaining about the outcome in the previous lawsuit. So things just go from bad to worse for Donald Trump in state court in New York.
But is it the case with all of these court cases for his political support, every time there seems to be an adverse outcome in the courts, it helps him with donors and electorally?
Well, ask yourself, if you're the sort of person, keep in mind, the second half of the same lawsuit, right? The first half was that he was found civilly liable for sexual assault, and his poll numbers went up. If you're one of those people who wasn't turned away from Donald Trump by a finding of sexual assault, you're not leaving him because of a defamation judgment for money damages. So no, I don't think Donald Trump will be hurt at all in the polls. And as usual, it might help him just a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Mick Mulvaney, always good to talk. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, LJ.